I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. P. Diddy's Dirty Secrets come out in new documentary. Made Biggie pay for his own funeral. Salute to the chat. Salute to all my moderators. Salute to the replay gang. I'm going to do this demonstration differently. I'm going to get my chat involved. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking questions and comments from the chat. And I'm going to let my chat walk us through this demonstration. First, drop a one in the chat if y'all had a chance to watch the documentary. Drop a 2 if y'all still haven't watched it. All right, let me see what my chat talking about. Iggy want to see this. I need to know where I can watch it. It's on Netflix. The Diddy's documentary is on Netflix. I want to see this. I didn't know where it's at. It's on Netflix, y'all. It's a good one. It's a good one. So what we're going to do in this demonstration is we're going to just chop it up about how do y'all feel about Diddy allegedly, because I don't want Diddy sending me a cease and desist. I don't want him suing me. So we're going to say allegedly. All right. I see you, the For Life. Positive vibes, Kamara, Tanika. I see y'all down there. Shelly. I see you, Shelly. Watched it. Was an eye-opener. What stood out to you, the For Life? What stood out to you? First, let me ask y'all that did see it. Do y'all think that Diddy was stooped that low? Dang, I don't have Netflix. They getting expensive. I feel you, Tanika. I feel you. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it tonight. Do y'all think Diddy would stoop that low? I'm gonna keep it real. I think that he did. Positive Vibe says yes. I mean, Did y'all see how Diddy was charging his artists for everything? He was charging his artists to be on the record. And let's keep it real. Back then, I know them rappers didn't want P. Diddy on their records with them. I just know. I know they was like, man, Diddy, do you gotta be on every record? But he was charging them to be on their records. Records that I know they ain't want his funky ass to be on. He was charging them to be in the videos. No wonder Suge put him on blast at the 95 Source Awards. What did Suge say? You don't want the executive producer all in the videos. But Suge was right. But how you charging your artist to be in a video? You the executive producer. You don't got no business being in them videos anyway. Come on. Kamara says, I've been knew all that. Yup. How nervous he was talking to the lawyer and to see people dead at the parties. That's facts, the For Life. That's facts. He thought he was untouchable. Diddy treated those artists like slaves. Shake him out. He did. He went above. I mean, the record labels have always been gypping the artists out of their money, but no executive producers, no CEOs was in them artist videos. Come on, Diddy. That rubbed me the wrong way. It did. I see you, Miss Parker. Facts. And then, how they was saying 50 didn't have to do that because 50 was at the parties. I never liked Diddy, but I would have definitely went to a party if I had the chance. I can't lie. Hey, Tanika, I would have went to the parties too. Drop a 3. Drop a 3 in the chat if y'all would have went to a Baby Oil Man party. Drop a 3. Drop a 4 if y'all be like, nah, Shank, I wouldn't have went. I'm going to drop a 3 because I would have went. Now, I wouldn't have been entertaining. I wouldn't have been involved in all the different activities that they had going on, but I'd have went if I had the opportunity. Miss Parker's sister, I saw you back with the gang. Positive vibes wouldn't be positive vibes if she didn't get a joke in. Positive says Mr. Clean at the party, yes. But you know, Baby Oil Man, he was on one, y'all. He was on one. And unfortunately, when karma spins the block, it ain't no telling how karma gonna repay you. I see you blessed. I see you blessed to be 51. Right. I'm from Baltimore. You can't peer pressure me to do nothing. I'm from Baltimore with you, Tanika. So you know you can't peer pressure us. But he was on one, y'all. And as I said, when karma comes to spin the block, you know. Now what I want to touch off on, him and Biggie, they wasn't friends. They wasn't friends. They just, in my opinion, they both saw an opportunity when it came to the other one. Like Biggie saw the opportunity of Puffy getting him in the music industry. Puffy saw Biggie as his pawn. You know, he saw him as a pawn. But at his lowest. You know, and then we learned in the documentary that when Rolling Stones, when they wanted to do the interview, the tribute to Biggie after his death, and they needed a picture of Biggie, because they could have used any picture, but they wanted to, you know, get the picture from Bad Boys from the label. PDiddy told the president, Kirk Barrows, send him my picture. We gonna promote what I got going on. That I felt that was foul. That was messed up. I see you, Tasha. Like, it don't always gotta be about you, is what I'm trying to say. But he used that opportunity to promote his album and what he got going on. Let's talk about 50 for a second, y'all. 50 should be in lockup too. Let's talk about 50. How many of y'all think that it was cool for 50 to make the documentary and put those never seen before videos in it? He unalived Kim Porter, no doubt. Diddy sitting in jail, still trying to make it all about him, shaking my head. I mean, like I said, when it comes to 50, 50 came in the game as a troll. Way before social media came into existence that we know of. So this is what 50 do. He'll troll you. Hey, Tanika, I'm telling you, when you see it, I had to end the live last night, and look, y'all, I finished watching. I had finished watching all 4 episodes, right? But I ended the live thinking that it was still more to the documentary that I didn't see. That's how into the documentary I was in. I mean, I wish I could play the documentary on here, because I would. Because trolling, rat, and snitch. I would. Let Miss Parker slide in. Salute, Miss Parker.
Salute Shank. Salute to the chat. I got a couple things to say, Shank. Well, more than a couple. First off, okay, so This is going viral, you know what I'm saying? And I see some people saying that 50 did this because Diddy smashed his girl, whatever. And, y'all got to remember that with 50, it's business. I've learned that about 50, just, you know what I'm saying? 50, you know what I'm saying? I see business, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, if the tapes was presented to me, what we gonna do? We gonna take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it ain't like him and 50 was cool. Like, I'm not gonna look at like they was the best of friends and oh man, 50. That's just my opinion on that one. Um, Secondly, it's almost like we forgetting everything else to look at Diddy because of what? Like, to put him on a pedestal because of what? Like, I get that Cassie should have left. You know what I'm saying? She should have left. She had plenty of opportunity to leave, but in this kind of, if you ain't in the industry to, again, to hear Cat Williams them speak on this for years and stuff like that through their comedy shows and different people doing interviews and stuff of how dark the industry is and the power of the industry, the dark power of the industry. I mean, when you see some unaliving going on and you around it for real, I can't say what they felt, but just me knowing that somebody holds that much power and can have your family touched, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that in the blink of an eye. I'm gonna consider some stuff now. The men that slept with Diddy and stayed around, no payment or nothing, just waking up to you didn't know you was sleeping in the bed, you didn't know this, yeah, your butt was hurting. Come on, Shank, like you get what I'm saying, like
Hmm.
to me, it gives off you liked it because you stayed around for years. To the gigolo, I'm looking at the gigolo, and you a gigolo. You get paid to have fun and do all kind of 50 Shades of Grey stuff. Then now you circling back. He was you saying it out of your mouth. He said it was stuffed in the baby oil. You said it out of your mouth, like, how do y'all do it all night? This is what we take. So they got me to take one. How old are we where we can't make a decision? Say, nah, I'm cool. But you was doing anything for the money. You get what I'm saying?
Why I got you up here, Miss Parker? Let's break it down in different levels or different sectors. Let's first deal with 50. All right. Like you said, 50 is a businessman, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. In business, it's only one color, and that color is green. Are we on the same page, Miss Parker?
Absolutely.
So a lot of people are saying, like Dane and others are saying, that's messed up on 50's part because 50 is tearing down another black man. But business is business. If it was the other way around, and if P. Diddy had an opportunity to make money off of 50, I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that P. Diddy wouldn't have made no money off of 50? What's your thoughts, Miss Parker?
Let me be honest. P. Diddy probably would have got off on it. I would just be honest. That's my opinion. I'm being honest. But Shank, I gotta be honest about it. If it was an opportunity and somebody even gave me that hotel video, man, they gonna eat off of that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna put that in a vault. Somebody's gonna put that in a vault. You know what I'm saying? On a mad day, boom. You know what I'm saying? Somebody leaked it. That 150. You get what I'm saying? So who leaked that video? Why ain't it? Why ain't it? Why we upset at 50 versus looking at the people now that's coming out and speaking all these years later that indulged in these activities and stuff like that. Oh, 50 was a murderer. Oh, 50 this. I mean, Diddy. Oh, Diddy was a murderer. Oh, Diddy did this. Diddy did that. Why are we mad at 50? When these things have been said before, why we ain't mad at Gene Deal?
That's facts.
Why we ain't mad at the guy that was making the music? Why we ain't mad at the girl off of Dirty Money? Why we not mad at them? They put that out there. You can't force them to talk, but just like how they did Diddy, guess what? Money opportunity, something that they didn't get from Diddy, the person that they actually worked for and put in all that hard work for. So 50 come with an opportunity because a lot of these people don't went homeless and everything. Ain't got money to fight, get lawyers to fight for their children or nothing, Shank. And guess what they doing? Oh, 50 gotta presenting some money on the table. You know what I'm saying? It's a check right here. I'm talking. And this is what we do on Mad Day. But then again, I gotta say, that's why you take care of your people. You don't take care of your people not to talk, but you take care of your people, they take care of you.
That's facts. We learned that. Now let's switch lanes to Baby Oil Man. Let's switch lanes to P Diddy. Now we feel. Let me just say this because I want to be careful with the words I use. We feel that P Diddy done some dirt, right? Many of us believe he was behind the red rum of Tupac. A lot of us believe he was behind the red rum of Biggie. A lot of us believe he was behind the death of Kim Porter. A lot of us believe he was behind the death of Black Rob, as well as Craig Mack and others, right? Now, P. Diddy allegedly ain't no saint. Now, could this be karma spinning the block on P. Diddy? I want to hear your perspective, Miss Parker.
Of course, what's done in the dark always finds its way to the light. And with this, unfortunately again, it comes to that, you know, um a lot of people fear for their life, and a lot of people, Albie Shore, he has a child by Kim Porter. He spoke up about it. You get what I'm saying? And and I was never mad at Albie Shore because he's got a son too that's around Diddy. You get what I'm saying? So with Diddy being the way he done and them showing them different sides of Diddy, and that's what I got out of this, like the other side that we didn't get to really see and stuff, like when he got mad in that office and stuff like that, how a grown man and how they were saying how Diddy got jealous of Tupac and Biggie's relationship because that was my era of music. You know what I'm saying? And I remember having them on cassette tapes. I didn't even have them. It wasn't even a CD at the time that they was rapping. You know what I'm saying? We had to flip that tape, take it out, put it in on the other side, and to hear a grown man sit in an interview and say, hey, yeah, I got a little jealous, like, yeah, it's like my best friend was gone. Like, it gave me a weird vibe, and it gave me a better outlook on what happened with Biggie in the Tupac situation. Because a lot of people, we always heard, and now, with the Keefe D coming out with his story and stuff, finally telling what happened and stuff like that, and then hearing Keefe D on Never Before Tape, it gave a whole, it put the icing on the cake for me, and it let me know that, as crazy as it sounds, Shank, but it let me know that Puffy was really behind it because the conspiracies and and stuff like that was forever with everything that happened. But I got to see the other side of Puffy, that the violent side, like how it could turn violent when things didn't go his way and stuff like that.
I'm right there with you, Miss Parker. I think karma spent the block. Like when things be happening to us. Well, when things be happening to me. I gotta always backtrack and say, well, this might be some karma. It come back different. However, karma is karma. But like I said, it's one thing to be assuming, but when you seen that documentary, like I've heard hundreds of Keefe D's interviews, but I've never actually heard the actual interrogation. I never heard the actual audio of Keefe D speaking, talking, basically dry snitching on his nephew and the
And
rest.
Diddy. Yeah,
Right,
and Diddy and how he met up, how it gave that connection, how he met Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Who
right.
connected him to Diddy and how everything really played out. And I like how you were talking about like connecting the deaths because if everybody really look at the documentary, it wasn't so just much of the words, it was me looking at I got an echo.
Nah, that's somebody. Let me see. Who's this backstage? Who hold up, Miss Parker. Who's Wanda? Yeah, I got dropped. I don't know who that is. You gotta fix your audio, whoever Wanda is. Come on back in, Miss Parker.
Yeah, she might got the TV on and be on a device, so it'll cause that. But and keep your band up. What I was saying was if everybody goes back and how he was saying like how Biggie didn't want to go. Even it was the lies too. And y'all gotta think that we big up and then we mad at 50 again. But why we not mad at the fact that he set his own artist up? Like, you know what I'm saying? He set his own artist up. And, I ain't mad at Biggie for, like, okay, come on, let's go do this show and man, I ain't coming back here. You know what I'm saying? But I wish Biggie would have went with his instinct and stayed out of LA that night because go back and look at the pictures, look at Biggie's face. He looked super uncomfortable. So then the
Yeah,
next thing is Biggie left early. Biggie left the party early because you can feel it, Shank. When you go to a club, when you go to a
yeah,
party, man, you can feel
yeah,
the uncomfortability.
yeah.
If you ain't comfortable about a situation, you know what I'm saying, you'll just have something in the pit of your stomach. It just your stomach will be kind of turning and you ain't like nauseated. I just can't like a butterfly in your stomach, like, just an anxious little feeling like, but you could see it on Biggie face that he wasn't comfortable and Puffy was partying like, yeah, nigga, we heard this nigga heard like y'all ain't stopping none. You could tell he had a point to prove, but he was using Biggie to prove it and it cost Biggie his life and stuff. And I just wish that the turn of events, you know what I'm saying, would have been different the same way he set up the whole Pac situation and stuff. Cause when you go back to that scene where old boy said Biggie Pac downstairs, all right, go meet him, you know what I'm saying? And he said the Negroes was like, nah, get back on the elevator. You could tell it was a setup, but I really don't think to this day that Biggie did it. What I think was they wasn't expecting Pac to live
Right.
after that. And like he said, who gonna leave a 80,000 rollie on somebody? Who gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know it was a hit. But Puff put it out there to make it like, he stayed quiet. And you see how even Shank, if you go back to when they said Puff, Big was looking at it like, man, I ain't even studying. And Puff kept staying in his ear. You gotta retaliate, man. If you don't say something, even when Biggie looked at Puff and was kind of like, yeah, I gotta respond because whoop de woo, whoop de woo. Like, come on, Shane.
Now let me
You could hear that it was all kind of like scripted for him, and it really ain't something he wanted to do.
now let me slide in. Now let's tap into Biggie. We're gonna tap into the notorious B.I.G. Now I've always said this, and I still stand 10 toes down on this. Biggie wasn't the saint that people tried to portray him as. Now he wasn't deep in it as P. Diddy. He wasn't as grimy as P. Diddy, but Biggie wasn't no saint. Biggie made that song, Who Shot You? I know, but Shank, he made that way before Pac got shot. And he made that for a movie soundtrack. All right, let's chop it up. Now, your man just gets shot, right? Now this song comes out. You made the song. See, this is where accountability has to come in at. You made this song. You already know people feel some type of way about you anyway. So you gonna make this song called Who Shot You? Big was the king of sneak dissing. If you go back through Biggie old records, and if you listen to his records, on every record that Big made, Big was subliminal dissing another rapper. He stayed subliminal dissing people. So now in this song, Who Shot You come out. How you think Pop was going to take that? Some people say, but Shank, P. Diddy released it. Biggie could have easily told P. Diddy, take that record off, or don't put that record out. Or Biggie could have easily came out, and everything that everybody is saying about that song, why Biggie didn't clear it up while he was alive. Biggie would have been cleared that up and said, hey, look, that song, Who Shot You, I made that for soundtrack. I didn't have no knowledge of P. Diddy putting that song out. I just want everybody to know that. Biggie never cleared it up. Now, when it comes to the robbery, Pac knew that Big ain't had nothing to do with the robbery. But Pac is like this. You supposed to be my man. Because remember, in the beginning, Pac was letting Big open up for him on shows. Pac was putting Big and Puffy and them on the stage so they could get their shine, right? Now, we see it in the YouTube streets. We see it all the time. You bring somebody in the game, somebody start with you, something kick off with you and another content creator. This person that you gave life to, you see them over there with your op. So that's how Pac looked at it. Pac looked at it like, damn, Big, out of any and everybody, I'm letting you open up for me. I'm running around bragging about you. Now, when this robbery and this hit go down, you ain't nowhere to be found. You rolling with the same ninjas that's responsible for this. So that's what his issue with Big was. Big hands was not all the way clean. Now, did Big have anything to do with the red rum? No. Big ain't had that type of power. See, Baby Oil Man had that type of power. If you listen to Keefy D, when Baby Oil Man aligned himself with the Crips, that's why Baby Oil Man was walking around LA so comfortable, because he had them Crips on salary. And let's just keep it real. It's like you said earlier, Miss Parker. If you paying somebody, you know, whether they like you or not, they're going to ride with you. If you paying them, whether they like you or not, they're going to ride for you. Why wouldn't they ride for P. Diddy when his ops, when his enemies is the red side? So the blue side already beefing with the red side. So now you got P. Diddy coming along, and he giving the money, he letting them in events. So they like shit. So they gonna roll with P. Diddy. But see, the protection was for P. Diddy. The protection wasn't for Big. And like you said, that's why Big felt so uncomfortable. And that's why P. Diddy felt comfortable, because he knew the blue side protected me. But Big, on the other end, he ain't had that same protection. And like you said, when you go to events, if I'm in my own neighborhood, if I'm in my own house and the events is taking place, I'm comfortable. But if I'm out of my neighborhood, especially if I'm in another city and I'm watching, I got my eyes open.
Can I say something on that one, Shane?
Come on, Miss Parker.
Not and we can't even look at it like we just in another city. We in our territory. A lot
Right,
of Pac done got unalived. Come on, at this point, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no we in the city, we in another state next door. We in the city where this man is unalived, and we know what really happened.
right,
Biggie know, okay, we passed Pac getting unalive. Biggie know what happened. He knew his hands when, and he knows who set that up.
right.
But at the same time, I feel like that Biggie's loyalty, like, yeah, Pac's letting him open up Shank and everything for him, but the loyalty still lied on, you know what I'm saying, on Puff. So it was like being stuck between a rock and a hard place and stuff like that. So I'm not mad at Biggie for being loyal to Puff. Like, yeah, you let me open up, you know what I'm saying? You my mans, but that's the homie. That's the
Well,
that's the That's the homie. And
Let me
people might look at it from different perspectives, but
right.
you know what I'm saying? Loyalty comes in it at some point.
Let me backtrack it though, Miss Parker. Now, Biggie's listen to what Kirk Barrows said, the president of Bad Boys. He said that Puffy was jealous of Biggie and Tupac's relationship because in the beginning, Pop and Biggie was more homeboys than Biggie and Puffy was. Biggie and Puffy wasn't homeboys. They really wasn't. Biggie and Puffy didn't chill like Tupac and Biggie did. Biggie and Pac was more of a homeboys than him and P. Diddy. It was just business with P. Diddy. And P. Diddy looked at Big the same way. It was just business. Look, P. Diddy from Harlem, Biggie from Brooklyn. And I need all my New York people to chime in on this. When it comes to them barrows up in New York, they take that type stuff serious. That's like Dame. This is why Jay-Z got mad at Dame when Dame made Cameron the president of Rockefeller. But you gotta remember, Cameron is from Harlem. Dame is from Harlem. Jay is from Brooklyn. So Dame naturally gonna look out for a cat that's from the same barrel from him, Harlem. So
Mhm.
that's the New York politics. The New York people can come in and they can either build with me or either can destroy it. But New York people know what I'm talking about when it comes to them barrels. It's politics. So like I said, Biggie from Brooklyn, Puff from Harlem. They was just business associates. Now maybe later on they may have formed a friendship. I don't know. But I do know Biggie and Pop was more of a homeboys than Biggie and P. Diddy because Biggie and Pop, they hung out together. They chilled
But
together.
and I
Go ahead.
get I get that, but at some point nobody really ever know if Biggie did it. P Diddy, we know that to me P Diddy set that up.
Yeah,
But at
yeah,
this
yeah,
point,
yeah.
Biggie know that ain't no coming back from this. You get what
That's
I'm
fact.
saying? Ain't no
Facts.
turning back from this. That cause I could say I didn't do it then. There go his life anyway on the line because he snitched and said Diddy did it. You get what I'm saying?
That's fact.
So it's a damn if I don't, damn if I do situation. You know what I'm saying? Keeping his mouth shut still cost him his life.
Yeah, he was in too deep. And now let's chop it up. I want the chat and even the replay game. Let's chop it up as far as Biggie's death. Do you think that Biggie should have said, Pop? I mean, do you think Biggie should have told Puff, I ain't going to LA? Or when he got to LA, he did his thing. Because remember, Kirk said that that next day, him and Biggie was supposed to have been in London, right? But Puffy said, nah, you ain't going to London. Do you think that Biggie should have stepped in both ways, both times? Like, look, I ain't going to LA. Or, okay, you got me out here in LA. Okay, tomorrow I'm supposed to be in UK. You talking about, nah, y'all gonna stay here? No, I'm going to UK. Do you think that Biggie, I don't want to say played a part in his own death, but do you think that Biggie could have prevented his own death?
I do. But when God have a design, it's designed, to me. But I think Biggie's Earl's his antennas definitely should have went up at that moment. You know what I'm saying? You was already uncomfortable and stuff. That's what they was talking about. And we always heard that before this documentary came out. And people gotta understand a lot of this stuff we've heard before the documentary ever came out. I don't know what the outrage is again. But I get it. But once I know that I'm in a room with a girl and I'm already uncomfortable. Boom, we do this, we there, boom, okay. Shit, we made it through a night. The next day I'm supposed to do a show in in Atlanta. and I find out like, hey, gotta change your plans, instantly my antennas is gonna go up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go on and make my escape plan. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was on Biggie mind that day. I hate that he's not here to tell his story. I hate that Pac's not here to tell their story. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that to really give you the clearance. But I wish Biggie would have left right then and there. And he's like, nah, cancel the flights. And, even for him, like he knew, you know what I'm saying? Once you said canceling flights and they already knew, the team knew that Biggie was uncomfortable. He had to tell it because, like I said, we heard this years ago that Biggie was uncomfortable. And I think that he should have used his discernment and just dipped. You know what I'm saying? Because did you have money? It made me think like, what did Puff have on you to make you stay? To, you know what I'm saying? After being so uncomfortable, what made you stay?
I don't know. To this day, if it's any question that I would have for Biggie, it would be first, what made you go to LA knowing how LA felt about Tupac, knowing that it's a strong possibility that you can lose your life. Then once you finish the award, Soul Train, and all that, why you ain't get up out of there? What made you walk around freely like that? Even the dude from the Crips that was speaking on, you know, Big, like, yo, you realize where you at? You you can't be out here like that. I mean, Big was in LA, he was out in the streets, 6 months after Tupac had got red rum. Yo, and you could have been in any city. You could have been in any state. Like I tell people all the time, them steppers is in every city. Every city you go to in America got steppers, got hitters. So, but you out there in LA and you just walking around like what? You gave off the wrong energy. It's like you taunting them. You got your chest on swole. That's what I mean about when I talk about having your chest on swole. You walking around like you tough Tony. You walking around like you bad, like nothing can happen to you. So did Big welcome his death? Did he open up the door to death?
And can I say this, Shank, too? Like, I still, even after watching the documentary and stuff, I believe that I don't even believe that was in retaliation to Pac. I really think that Diddy did that to
Yeah,
Big. And
I'm
like
with
you said, allegedly, and that those was his protectors that did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, who
you.
he, man, he already jealous of everything.
Yep, yep,
You know what I'm
yep,
saying? Who
yep,
this nigga think he is leaving and shit. You know what I'm saying? Scary, hey, he leaving. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing for somebody to hit somebody to make a call, and you know what I'm
yep,
saying? Already have the hitters right there anyway. You know what I'm saying?
yep, yep.
And they did that. You know what I'm saying? It was too close to comfort for soon as he get in the car, they barely made it to the corner. You get what I'm saying? So it kind of show you the setup and stuff like that, and that wasn't what Puff came to do. Puff came to make these niggas know I run everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Right,
be everywhere in your city. I'm gonna be in that city. Y'all ain't stopping nothing. And the fact that Big left him to rock out by himself, how dare him? So and this was the price that Big had to pay for being in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person.
how do you think overall about the documentary? Do you feel like I feel? Like, I love the documentary. What's your thoughts on the documentary? You feeling it?
Yeah, it was interesting, because I always ask you questions about Pac all the time because that was one of my favorite rappers of all times. He's my number one on the list, and a lyrical genius. You know what I'm saying? And to get that to get like I said, the clarity, still shining light on the situation. I appreciate that, and even with his mother, I want to stick to that for a minute and stuff like that. And to hear Christopher Wallace's mother say what she said about Diddy, why we taking that away? Whether 50 shot it or not, this is not what 50 shot. 50 didn't shoot the scenes and stuff. This was just never before seen footage that somebody had. And y'all know in this kind of business, when you got raw footage, they about their money. Paparazzi is about selling their pictures for money and stuff like that. This world is nothing but a money game,
That's
business game.
that's facts.
So I want everybody to stop looking at it like, oh man, another black man. We're gonna keep seeing this type of stuff happen. Diddy ain't gonna be the last. Let's put it like that. Diddy ain't the first either that this happened on. You know what I'm saying? I get to implement him in things, but we've heard these things. Like again, I mean, we've heard these things. We know about the club with Shine and stuff like that. We're not looking at that like, dang, you let the homie go to jail, and that's karma to me. Like, again, not taking care of his peoples for 10 years, and man knew, but he took the fall for 10 years away from his kids, his family, and said nothing
That's
and
facts.
said nothing. And you did nothing for him while you out here skip roping and tap dancing like Gregory Hines and all, like you said, all the artist videos and stuff like that because you want to be seen. Nobody's talking about that. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's talking about
Facts.
all these artists that made you. You didn't make them, they made you. And sometimes we overlook that. Like they made you. They made you money. They made you millions. And you gave them nothing but your Ada kiss.
That's
But
facts.
I guess in the black world, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for him to make money off people, but not 50. But when Christopher Wallace is Biggie, when she said what she said about Puff, and when you hear a mother that lost a child and stuff, and she say what she say, it ain't cause nobody was in that woman's ears. You know what I'm saying? A mother knows. You get what I'm saying? And we don't know what Biggs shared with his mother, but they was close, and she was all he had. She was all he had, and so I'm pretty sure he kicked a lot of stuff to her, you know what I'm saying, even about faith and everything else, you know what I'm saying? And to know that when it came time for his funeral, that was put in play, like, I'm gonna make it like I'm paying for the funeral, but we're gonna fix the paperwork. It comes out of his money. Just to show y'all how crooked and rotten this man lost his life because of you. Another man, and God knows how many other, the Kim Porters, the guys that she dated that was unalived, allegedly, and so many more lives that was taken. So many other lives that was taken, and we're gonna overlook the murderer. We're gonna look the murder, and we're gonna focus on 50 for putting this out there. You get what I'm saying? It's like, dang, that's somebody's loved ones that's no longer here, and they deserve answers and clarity. They deserve it because if it was mine, I would want the answers and the clarity.
That's a
Now,
whole.
am I pissed about them speaking up then? Like right now, yeah, like dang, like but like I said, what the Bible say, men will be lovers of money in the end of days. And everybody gotta remember to read the Bible, what's the word for it? Metaphorically to me. Men and women are lovers of money right now. People will sell their souls. We watch it all the time. You heard what he said. Cassie went from having Ray and the boyfriend allegedly in the studio. Then the next day, we never saw him again.
That's facts.
And she was what I'm saying, signed the eight deal, 8 record deal. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Overnight, she sold her soul and didn't realize what she was doing. You could see how uneasy Kim was on the red carpet with her. But we want to overlook the fact that Cassie was messing with Diddy while Kim Porter was in the picture. Cause we're gonna keep saying, "Oh, she was young. She was young." We want to overlook the fact that the lady that was his assistant went to the park and didn't pack up her shit when he said, "Hey, if it come down alive and somebody shank," I heard that word. I'm out of there. I'm out of the state.
Say it again.
I'm out of the state. Like, I'm not just even out of that office. I'm out of the state. But y'all stayed in these positions for the fame, for the money. And guess what? It all ended in pain. It all ended in watching people lose their lives and so much darkness surrounding this story. So everybody made those decisions to, you know what I'm saying, be put in these positions, Shane. Biggie, the assistant, Cassie, again, you know, everything but the domestic violence, but she stayed. Kim Porter left and it still cost her life. She left and it cost her life. Because if Diddy couldn't have her, guess what? Nobody could. She didn't want to be the, yeah, everybody on the street know you could have a wife and then you got your wife in the streets. Everybody don't want that. Whether it was for the money or whatever, everybody don't want that. And she didn't want that. Beautiful woman. And still showed up in our form. You get what I'm saying? But she wanted more. She wanted better. Don't forget allegedly how he broke her nose on the boat. Sometimes people get tired.
Yeah.
But it still cost that girl her life. Perfectly healthy and boom. All of a sudden, she gone. Anybody that was affiliated with her, guess what? They ended up in the hospital speaking out now. Almost gone. I'll be sure to her baby daddy. Almost gone. Saying, Dick, come on, Shank.
And people wonder why people stay quiet. People wonder why people don't speak out or get involved. Their life be in danger. They life be in danger. You know, you got some sick people out here, and Baby Oil Man allegedly is a sick man. You know, now when it
All right,
came,
let's stay right there about the great man real quick. Just real quick, Shane. R. Kelly had great hits. He did. I still listen to Space. I still listen to him in my everything. But at the same time, he had a sick side to him.
mhm,
Now we love the greatness of the music, but we still got to recognize the dark side too.
mhm,
And I don't know how we keep dismissing that and overlooking it. You get what I'm like? It's almost like we picking and choosing who, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And it's actually scary
yeah, yeah,
to hear the debate over this stuff. Like, you know what I'm going, but damn, did he, okay, what did he do so great that to make us have these kind of debates? Instead of looking at the dark twisted side and of things, because we got to think of it goes into bigger than what 50 showed. The affiliation to Trump, Epstein, he goes deep. But go ahead, Shane.
now I was just going to touch off on the sick part of Diddy. You know, in my opinion, he's sick. You know, the demonic side of this dude, and allowed. He was allowed to operate. You know, because of his money, because of his power, because of his influence. You know, he was able to get away with pretty much everything under the sun. And those that were around him, like I said when we had this conversation earlier, now he knew who to do certain things to. He knew. Like he knew his staff wasn't street type of people. Whereas though if the stuff that he was threatening his staff, if they were street dudes, P. Diddy would have been in a body bag a long time ago. So he knew who to do certain things to. So now it comes into play whereas though These are not street dudes. These are not females that street affiliated. They scared. They nerd. Like she said when P. Diddy's, what she say when they went to was it Kid Cudi house? Was it Kid Cudi, right, Miss Parker?
She said, yeah,
What she
yeah.
say? He said, get in the car, we going to Red Rum Kid Cudi. She was scared. You know, I understand where she coming from. She was scared. She ain't out that life. She ain't out that mob. So she rolled with P. Diddy, praying and hoping that nothing went on. And like she said, she called Cassie, where is you at? Because this Negro get ready to red rum somebody, and I don't want no parts of it.
But you was, but you know, it's almost like how you get in the game, and now when shit's serious, I don't want no part. You get what I'm saying? You already signed. You already signed on the bloodline, Shane.
Mhm. I feel you. I feel you.
So
That's
whether
why.
or not she's saying, Cassie, I don't want to do this, you know what I'm saying? You already knew because you said when he took you to Central Park, he told you what it was.
Yep. Let me slide in real quick. Like you said earlier, Miss Parker, all the things that the old folks was telling us when we was younger. What was one of the things that the old folks would tell us? Choose your friends wisely. Be careful with the company that you keep. I heard that so many times. I've been in situations like that, whereas though I had to make a quick decision. Like I said, the younger me, sometimes I did let the peer pressure get the best of me. The younger me. But as I started getting up in age, if I ain't want to go, I ain't go. If I ain't want to do it, I ain't doing it. I was with it, but certain things, I ain't doing it.
But it take you back to Boys in the Hood. When Cube looked in that back seat, you damn, let me out the car. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo,
He was
bingo.
halfway, they was there, and he's like
Let me
he know
out.
you ain't let me out. You know what I'm saying? You ride, but you thinking at the same time. Am I
This ain't
really?
me. This ain't me. And Cube, he understood it. The next day, he said, I understand why you got out. Because it wasn't him. And
Yeah.
he could have threw his life away with a quick decision that he made. Goes back to Biggie. P. Diddy. You want me to go to LA? I ain't going. I'm out in LA. I'm moving around. I ain't doing it. Come on, Miss Parker.
Um. Yeah, and I felt like too. Even though Diddy paid y'all, I mean, 50 paid y'all the money to do the documentary. It still stains on y'all hand. Stuff that y'all have to live with forever. Y'all still gonna have to watch y'all back. Cause it's like, y'all held it in, and now for another piece of money, now we signing a whole nother blood oath. You get what I'm saying? Either way it go, we signing another blood oath because now we spilling our guts. We incriminating. You know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody know the statute of limitations or nothing. And we still don't know what kind of power is out there. Clive Davis for one. Clive Davis's name has always rung if you really be into, like, I'm into the dark part of when I look into the music thing. I'm not into the young ones so much, but definitely when I hear certain things, I look into it. And see, that's why I said Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise is a good movie. I always name movies that I've watched because I always kind of tap into those to see what really be going on. And it's like, y'all been holding it in this long, you know what I'm saying? Y'all might as well shut up. But it's crazy how as soon as he went to jail, we having telling time for this money. The same way y'all signed the put y'all dripped y'all blood on Diddy's contracts. Y'all did it this time too. And I get it on 50's end. He's a businessman. It was all business to 50. You know what I'm saying? Hey, something, even if Diddy did smash his girl, guess what? He turned it into money. You know what I'm saying? And like she said in the chat, money is the root to all evil. We know this. And unfortunately that's where we are. in today's world, Shank, you know what I'm saying? Anything for money. We'll sell our soul for money. And the Clive Davis stuff never came up. You know what I'm saying? So it could have got deep and stuff, but I think 50 kind of tiptoed around a lot of stuff that he wanted to put out. Because it was always rumors about P Diddy and sleeping with Clive Davis allegedly. You know what I'm saying? I wish 50 would have tapped more into the mother side, because if you really dig down allegedly into the mother side, she was around mob bosses, like the Italian
Yeah.
mob bosses, not the black ones, but Italian mob bosses and stuff. She had ties too, and that's how Diddy got caught up in a lot of stuff too. Got his hands into a lot of stuff dealing, because of the mother's ties and stuff like that. So it's really deep rooted, and you really got to go and look into stuff to put the pieces to a lot of stuff together. And another thing to get me is everybody was jumping in the pool. We see, it's crazy how 50, and if you pay attention, 50 was showing things, and like I said, it all comes back to the Epstein thing too. Leonardo DiCaprio. We've heard that allegedly that he was at the Epstein Island. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff ties back to Trump and Epstein too, and a lot of senators, judges, and stuff like that. So when you got that kind of pool, um, you have to tiptoe in life around. But now, like again, they all have spoke out and stuff and things like that. So they didn't go deep into that side of things and stuff like that. But it's really a lot of blood ties. It's really a lot of corruption, and again, people lost their lives, and praying to those families that had to hear this and stuff like that. When Craig Mack's woman spoke up and said Diddy pulled out a lot of money and only gave him 100. And when we watch, if you really watch thug movies and stuff like that, you have to look at the points in the movie to see why people flipped and turned. When I read my hood books, when the drug dealer don't take care of his people, guess what they do? They flip. They go to the other side. They start telling. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And I read, and it's always something in a book to show you that this is what really happens. It's fictional, but we putting how shit really goes in the streets and type of thing. And how Craig Mack, you know what I'm saying, wanted to go to the other side and stuff like that because Suge had a better deal. You know what I'm saying? You have to take care of your people for your people to take care of you. And it's the same way as um the men in the street in our communities that push drugs and do all this other stuff, and how they don't take care of their community and stuff. You lose respect. And when people lose respect for you, it ain't nothing for opposition to come and get information out of them for a quick buck more than what you ever gave them and stuff. Food on their plate, something that you constantly overlooked, and stuff like that. So it was very eye opening, very telling and stuff like that. Who knows what's to come from all of this? Because when you look at the writing at the end of the movie, it was saying how it was 77 cases, I think, still pending. So Diddy's not out of the water on this shank at all. And like I said, we don't know what's to happen next. I'm waiting for it.
Any last words before we get out of here, Miss Parker?
Yeah, I'm gonna say prayers to the family of Tupac and Biggie. Great rappers gone too soon. Um, I hate that how it happened and stuff for money and power. Um, and like you said, you got to be aware of the company that you keep for sure. Look at Shanquilla. And this stuff that's happening now in our generation of time, watching these kids and the same things happening. Like I just said, Shanquilla and other stories just like hers, Kanika Jenkins, that's rising up again. Her stories coming back up. They blame the friends, and when you ain't got a full story, you be like, damn, you got to watch the company that you keep. And salute to you, Shank. This is good coverage and stuff like that. And I hope it's more to come, because it's more stuff that could be talked about in lessons from all of this. You know what I'm saying? For people that has kids that's been want to be aspiring rappers, artists, models, and stuff, to talk to them about how deep the industry really is. it's a lot to it. But salute to you, Shane.
Salute, Miss Parker. Appreciate you always. When you come up, you always drop jewels. Salute, Miss Parker.
All right.
Salute, everybody. Once again, if you haven't seen the P. Diddy's documentary that's on Netflix, make sure you check it out. I'll see everybody back tomorrow. I'll go over some more what was in the documentary. Salute, everybody. I'll leave the chat running and y'all can hang around. What's this? Wait, Shank. So what happened in the doc? You gotta watch it, Tanika. You gotta watch it. All right. Tap back into me tomorrow. Pull up on me tomorrow, and I might run some clips from the documentary tomorrow. All right. Salute, everybody.